Today, welcome to our class online school. Today we are going to be studying on civic education. On the topic, discipline. That's the topic we have to talk about today. Discipline. I know that so many of us are familiar with the word discipline. So today we are going to look deeply into what it means to be disciplined. We're going to know the real meaning of discipline. When you say somebody is disciplined, what are you trying to talk about? Now, coming from the angle of punishment, we see that discipline embraces different ideas and meaning. You as a person, you can see it in another angle. You can see it from another perspective. That's why we say that it embraces different words, ideas and meaning. Now let's take it from this angle. He said it can be viewed from the angle of punishment. It can be viewed from the angle of punishment in the sense that if someone is misbehaving, angle of punishment that it is meant to correct an erring person, to make such person to behave well. That is from the angle of punishment. It is meant to correct an erring person, somebody that is misbehaving, to put the person in order, to make the person to behave the way he or she ought to behave. That is from the angle of punishment. Then punishment can also be seen from the angle of training. Training that is it is a training that is meant to correct. A training that is meant to correct, to reshaping or to mold or perfect one's moral character. I take it again that it is seen as a training that is to correct, mold or perfect moral character. That is another definition of discipline. You discipline somebody not just because you want to wicked the person, not just because you feel like I am in a position to do this, let me do it. But you have something at the back of your mind. If you want to discipline a child, you want to discipline somebody, there is something that is prompting you to do that. You want to correct an impression, you want to correct an error, that child, he or she ought not to behave this way, let me correct him or her. You are not just doing it in order to wicked such person. So we said it is seen as training that corrects, mold or perfect moral character. In other words, you can easily say, you can freely say that it is the act of discipline, self-control. It is the act of self-control. You have this self-control in the sense that if nobody is there to monitor what you're doing, if nobody is there to see, to check you out, you have this self-discipline. Anywhere you find yourself, you behave yourself. Even when you are alone, you believe that this is the right thing I'm supposed to do. As a disciplined person I am, this is the right thing I'm supposed to do. So, having talked about the meaning of discipline, we are going to be talking about the attributes of discipline. Attributes of discipline. That is another subheading under the definition of discipline. Having known the meaning of discipline, as I explained earlier, we're going to be talking about the attributes of discipline. What are the attributes? The last word we made mention here is self-control. And in our attribute, the first attribute of discipline is self-control. It is the ability to remain to remain calm and not the definition of the discipline. Having talked about discipline, we want to rerun it. We want to talk about discipline again. As I said earlier, I said that discipline is viewed from the angle of punishment, which is meant to correct an erring person and make him or her to behave well. Then we also said that it is seen as a training that corrects, mold, or perfect one's moral character. And the last thing we said about the definition of discipline is that it is what the act of self-control. Simply say that discipline is the act of self-control. You have self-control. Then, having talked about the meaning of a discipline, that will now take us to what? The attributes of what? Discipline. That is what we have on the board. Attributes. If we're going to be saying that somebody is disciplined, what are the things that you will see in such person? What are those things that you really see from the person that will make you to say of your truth that this person is what? Discipline. One of the attributes of a what? Discipline is what? Self-control. What do I mean? Self-control. You have self-control. You said that is what? Is the ability what? It is the ability to remain calm and not show emotion even when one is angry or upset. It is the ability to remain what? Calm. Not showing emotion even when one is upset. It is very, very difficult. You and I know that it's very, very difficult for you to be calm when that is somebody puts you on provocation. If you are being provoked, you are being trampled upon, and you feel like you are less concerned. People around you will even look at you like as somebody that is like you're not so correct, because they will see that somebody is taking you for granted and you're quiet over it. And people that have this self-control, if there's someone that is very close to you that has this self-control, the person will respect you for the character you have just put up. You say, yes, this child is a mature child, this student is mature, he has self-control. So that is, we say that it is the ability to remain calm, not showing an emotion when you are what? Upset. As I said earlier, it is not easy, but if you are able to maintain calmness when you are being upset, when even everybody knows that you have been trampled upon, you are still quiet, you didn't say anything about it, that does not make you a fool. That is to say that you have self-control. Then another thing we should be talking about is moderation. Moderation. It has to do with maintain normal standard. Maintain what? Normal standard. You don't live above standard. How do we maintain normal standard? You don't dress excess. You don't do things excessively. In the sense that you don't just pass by. People, what kind of dressing is that one? What kind of look is she having? People will begin, you will now become a subject of discussion. People will begin to air their view concerning the way you dress. There's a way you dress because nobody notices that somebody has just passed. You are just normal. You look at yourself, you are okay. But there are some kind of dressing or makeup that you wear. People will begin to like, this one is something else. I haven't talked about moderation. I said it has to do with maintaining normal standards, not doing things excessively. Then another thing we were talking about under this attribute of discipline is what? Modesty. Two of them are somehow related. Modesty, it has to come with your way of dressing, the way you talk, the way you do things. You have to be modest. That is, you don't. They are interwoven. They are almost the same thing. In your dressing, you have to be modest. You don't dress on outdated ways or archaic ways. You are just a kind of, you dress well that people would see that this is what it ought to be. Not wearing clothes that will expose parts of your body and you will attract attention of people. So we should be modest in whatever we do in our dressing, like covering up our parts and all that. Make sure you don't dress to seduce people. You have to be modest, mostly in your way of dressing. Then, having talked about modesty, the next on the board is respect to legitimate authority. Legitimate authority. This has to do with rules, as in people that are at the helm of affairs, do you respect them? Do you respect the rules and the authorities of the government? If they say don't do this, do you obey? It's not as if respecting legitimate authorities, it doesn't mean that you are fearful or whatsoever, but it shows that you have what? Discipline. Once they say don't do this, you abide. Don't move, you abide. In the government sector, people that are working under government sector, it is very, very crucial for them to respect legitimate authority. Even our different schools, you respect the rules and regulations. Like it's people that have this discipline, before they get admission to any school or whatsoever, they make inquiries. They ask, what are the rules and regulations? What are the things that are being forbidden? What are those things that I am not supposed to do as a student of the school? Why are they asking? Because they are disciplined. They don't want to fall prey. They don't want to be a victim. That is why they do all these things. So that is about what? Authority. You respect authorities. You respect the owner of the school. You respect your teachers. You respect the community. You respect your family as well. Respect them. If you are a child or a student that has this attribute of discipline, people will notice it. Even your teachers in the school, they will know that this student is an exceptional student. Then another thing we're talking about is respect to rules and regulations. Respect to rules and regulations in your community, in your village, in your family, in that school you are attending. How well are you respecting the rules and regulations of the school? Do you consider the rules and regulations of the school when doing things? Do you consider the regulations, the rules in your family before doing things? These are, you have to check out all these things. If you are going by all these things, respecting the rules and regulations, that means you have this what? Discipline. Before you do something, you have to find out, if I do it this way, what will it result to? So that is all about rules and regulations. Then perseverance. Perseverance has to do with what? It is the attribute of discipline. It is the quality not giving up in trying to achieve a goal. It is the ability of not giving up in trying to what? Achieve a goal. Like in our studies, we need this spirit of perseverance. There are some subjects that we don't find so easy. We don't find them so simple. But if this perseverance, this spirit of perseverance is in you, this attribute is in you, you don't give up easily. You are a go-getter. If you want something, you are ready to burn midnight candle in order to get it. There are some people, let's take our students for example. Some students that they are not just relaxed, they keep pushing. Like a student that, let's say, in first term, he or she took a third position. You don't just relax as a student. You need to, that person that is taking a first position, he or she is a student like you. You need to work harder. You don't just relax. After all, it was only 2 people that was ahead of me. I tried. Well, you may say that, but that is not enough for you to relax. You need to be at the forefront. So perseverance, we say that it is the ability. It is the ability not to give up. It is what? Not giving up to achieve goal in spite of what? Challenges. There are some challenges that may try to stop you from achieving your goal. I always use our students as the attributes of discipline. We are talking about perseverance here. We said is the ability, is the act of not giving up when trying to achieve a goal. You don't give up. You see, life is very taskful. The situation of life is very taskful. There is nothing that comes easily like that. So as a student, whatever you do, you have to possess this attribute of perseverance. It is not easy. Nothing is easy in life. Even in your careers, nothing is easy. You have to cultivate this habit of perseverance. You focus on the goal you are going to achieve. You see beyond the difficulties that are surrounding the goal. Just focus. Believe that you will get there. And before you know it, you will actually get to where you're going to. Now another attribute of discipline is what? Dedication. It has to do with commitment and attention to whatsoever task you are being given to do. Whatsoever duty that is being delegated to you, you have to be committed and then put your attention in it. This involves your time, your energy, your interests, and even your money. That is talking about dedication. You are dedicated. If you are dedicated to whatever you are giving, it is said that to whom much is given, much is expected. If you devote this spirit of dedication to whatever they are giving to you, more things will come your way. More tasks and some other things that will benefit you will come your way because you were dedicated in the little one that was given to you. So other ones will come. That is all about dedication. You have to put in your energy, as I said, your time, your money, and you have to have interest in what you are doing. That is another important thing when we're talking about dedication. The interest must be there. If there is no interest in what you're doing, you will not put in your best. You just do it haphazardly. You just do it anyhow because there is no interest. But if you have interest, you will try to be the best. Then the last but not the least in the attribute of discipline is what? Attribute of discipline, is what? Competency. Competence. It is the ability of doing a particular task or job perfectly. Perfectly. Doing what you know how to do best. If you are doing it, you are doing it with every vigor, everything in you. And at the end of it, you are going to come out the best. You do it perfectly. There won't be complaint. That is the spirit of what? Competence. You are just perfect in what you are doing. You know what you are doing. Nobody teaches you your job. You know how to do it best. So that is all about competence. Now that will now take us to what we call the causes of indiscipline. We have been talking about discipline. What are the causes of indiscipline? What can cause a child? What can cause a student to be indisciplined? What can bring about indiscipline in the life of a student or a child? Now we're going to be talking about them one after the other.